Students, let's start with economics of grade 11, and today we are going to start with chapter number 2, and the name of the chapter is Basic Concepts of Economics. So the very first concept here is describing about human wants. What is want? In general, we can say want means desire to get a particular thing or a particular commodity. But in economics, they have added one more point, that is not only desire to get a commodity or an item, with it the effort to acquire your desire, that is also added to want. So in simple words, we can say want is equal to desire to get a commodity plus the effort is made in order to get that same commodity is called human want. Classification of human wants, they have classified broadly into two categories. One is the primary wants and the other is the secondary wants. Primary wants are the necessities, are the items which are very much needed for the existence. For the very existence of human life, the things which are needed are called the primary wants. And within the secondary want, we are saying that there are few things, the wants or the items which is making our life comfortable, and there are luxurious items also. You can see in the diagram given in your page number 17 is describing with a flow chart. Okay, so if we try to understand with examples, primary want, we can say food, shelter. Okay, all these are our primary wants. These are very essential for the very existence of human beings. All these things are needed. And for the secondary wants, we can say the comfortable, that makes our life comfortable. For example, electric fan, for example, bed, for example, television. All these are coming under comfort. And another type of we are having, that is luxurious items. For example, a car, for example, a diamond jewelry. Okay, all these are luxurious items which are not essential, but then also human wants are developing for this kind of things also. What are the features? There are certain features which is developing the human wants. First of all, wants are unlimited. Human wants are unlimited in its nature. It is ever growing and never ending. Each and every day, every individual's want is increasing. As you try to satisfy your one want, the next will arise very soon. Okay, so any individual in this entire world cannot say all the wants have been satisfied. So human wants are unlimited. Number 2, wants are complementary. Few wants are there which are complementary to each other. For example, you are buying a pen, you need to get the ink also. Okay, suppose somebody is buying tea, that person will have to buy sugar also. So wants are complementary. Just because you are wanting to have tea, you cannot just buy the tea leaves and come back. You have to get the sugar also. This is called complementary want. Next we are having substitution of wants. Substitution of wants means the products which can easily get substituted with the other one. For example, as I was telling you, you are wishing to have tea. Maybe you went to the market and you found out that the price of the tea is much more higher than the coffee. Easily you can substitute the tea with the coffee. Suppose somebody is thirsty and cannot get water. Okay, suppose a person is roaming around in the market and did not get water. That person can easily have a glass of cold drinks or a glass of juice. Wants are competitive. Wants are competitive means, as I was telling you, human wants are unlimited. And the wants are competing means having a competition among themselves. Who will come first? The first will be our basic need. The basic need, the primary want, whichever we are having, that will come first. And then the next one, then the next one. And the end, we can say the least important will be there. So our priority list is increasing according to our priority, we are putting the wants at the top. Wants multiple. Wants multiple means today if you are thinking of buying maybe a laptop, and maybe after 10 years with the advancement of technologies, you get some other gadget that is much more useful. So you will think of buying that, right? So wants multiple means according to the innovation, people's demands are also or wants are also changing. Wants recur. Wants recur means wants are repetitive. Like for example, breakfast, lunch, dinner, it is coming in a repetitive manner in our life every day. That is also kind of want. A single want can be satisfied. Again, in the same manner, according to our priority list, we are trying to fulfill according to that. Okay. Some wants can be postponed. I told you, as we are making our priority list at the end, the wants which are there at the below, at the bottom level, they can be postponed for later on also. Wants differ in their urgency. This means when there is an urgent situation, when there is a need of that particular thing, the want is increasing. For example, medicine. If somebody is really ill, the urgency of the medicine is high at that point of time. If the person is really healthy and not in need of medicine at that point of time, so the urgency can be delayed, right? So wants remain ahead of availability of goods and services. Our wants are never ending and we try to fulfill it, and we try to always think for our better life and our, you can say, comfortable life. There are many things which are not even present in the society or not even innovated till now. Then also we are thinking, okay, suppose if this would be there, it would make my life easy. So our wants are going ahead. It is going ahead. It's running much more faster than the innovation. Consumption. What is the meaning of this term consumption? Consumption is the direct use of goods and services in satisfying human wants. In order to satisfy our human want, whatever goods or services we are using, that is called consumption. Okay, goods and services, I have told you. Now we have to understand what is the meaning of goods and services. Goods means the tangible or the material things which you can see, which you can touch physically. Those are the goods. And the services are the non-tangible things which you cannot touch, but those are the services which is providing us utility. Next we are having sustainable consumption. Sustainable consumption is the consumption of goods and services which meets the needs of people and improves the quality of life without having an adverse impact on the environment and needs of the future generation. In simple words, if I try to say what is sustainable development or sustainable consumption means you're consuming or you're using the goods and services in such a way so that it is not becoming extinct for your future generation. The future generation will also be able to consume the same goods and services. Okay, next we are having utility. Utility is the amount of satisfaction derived from a good or service at a particular point of time. Whenever you're using maybe a gadget or a commodity, or you're having some food, okay, or you're taking some service, some customers went to the beauty parlor to take some massage. So the satisfaction we are getting from this kind of activities, okay, that is a utility. So what are the features of this utility? Utility is subjective. It is according to our mentality. Somebody may like the same service and the same service provided to somebody else, that person might not like it. Okay, it is subjective. Utility is not measurable. We cannot measure the utility in a measuring rod, or you can say, because it will differ from person to person. Utility is relative. Utility of a thing to a person depends on the intensity of desire for the commodity. The greater the need, the greater the utility. Utility is not constant. So the more you are in urge of having the commodity, the more is the utility. We are urging for a long time you were thinking of getting a mobile. After that you got it. So the utility of mobile will suddenly increase to you. Okay, utility is different from usefulness. So sometimes when the products are having utility but it is not useful, it is harmful. Okay, not always all the good things are having the utility. Few bad things are also having utility, but it is harmful for us, then also it is having utility. For example, we can take cigarette. Those who are smoker, for them it is having utility, but it is harmful for the health, right? Next, we are trying to understand about now total utility and marginal utility. Total utility means the amount of total products you are using. What is the total amount of utility you are deriving from it is called the total utility. For example, we can take 10 cups of ice cream. After having 10 cups of ice cream, if I tell you that what was the utility, how much satisfied are you after having this 10 cups of ice cream? You can say the utility is out of 10, I will give 10. Right? So out of 10, you are saying you are giving 10. So what is marginal utility? With every addition of 1 cup of the ice cream, what is the unit that increased? Suppose first cup of ice cream, you are ranking it as 2. The second cup you have ranked as utility 1. The third cup again you have ranked as 0.5. So the second cup with addition of 1 unit, with the addition of the second cup, I am not saying 2 cups, I am saying with the addition of the second cup, you have just pointed, you are giving 1 point. So with the addition of each unit, what is the increase in the utility? That is called the marginal utility. And the total utility is, we will calculate all the 10 cups. What is the utility? We just add it together, sum it together, that is the total utility. Law of diminishing utility means, as I was trying to explain you, the first cup will have 2, the second cup will have 1, the third cup will have 0.5, and slowly and steadily it will go to minus also. This is called law of diminishing marginal utility. With every addition, the utility is decreasing. This is called diminishing marginal utility. Next, we are having production. What is the meaning of this term production? The act of making goods and services, of creating goods and services, okay, or creating the utility of some goods and services. This is called productivity. According to A.H. Smith, production is a process that creates utility of goods. Okay, there are few objects, or you can say few processes also we need to know about this. Utility can be added to an object in the following ways. There are few ways in which we can add the utility. Form utility. Form utility means we are changing the form. For example, we are buying log of wood from the market, and the carpenter is changing that log of wood into a furniture. As the form from the wood, both the things are made up of wood only. As the form of the wood is changing to furniture, the utility is increasing. Okay. Utility of place. This means suppose a product which is available to in a certain place, that is in abundant, that product can be transferred from one place to another. The utility will increase. For example, in a forest area, the wood is found in abundant. If those woods are transferred to different parts of India, in the desert area, then they can at least use it for their, according to their need, they can use it. So the utility will increase there because they are not having much trees in the desert area. Time utility. Time utility means when the thing is in much need, that time if the thing is really sold in the market or available in the market, the utility increases. For example, now we can say the utility or the mask or sanitizers are much more in demand now. If those are supplied in the market, then the utility of those products are increasing. Service utility means the utility of a service. Whenever a doctor, engineer, or maybe a lawyer or teacher is providing their service, this is called the service utility. Next, we are having factors of production. Factor of production, there are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Land means whatever we have got free from the nature. Whatever we have got free from the nature is called land. The forest, minerals, water, sunlight, whatever is free of cost from the nature is called land. Even the land is also free of cost from the nature, not from the human being. Okay, I am owner of a piece of land. I'll give it free to somebody? No, I'll not. Because the nature have provided it free, but I have bought it from somebody else. It is not free from the human beings. Whatever is free from the nature is called land. Labor is the human effort, both physical and mental, involved in the process of production. Not only physical labor, mental labor is also being calculated here. Capital is defined as the man-made or produced means of production consisting of such things as machines, tools, equipments, and factory buildings, which are used in further production in making other goods and services in future. In other words, you can say there are two types of capital. One is the working capital, other is the fixed capital. Fixed capitals are those which we are buying, like a piece of land you are buying, then factory building, then the factory machines. All these are called the fixed capital. Other is the rolling capital, or you can say working capital. Like for example, we are buying the raw materials. Okay, these are the rolling ones. As buying the raw materials are getting modified, those are getting sold, again the money is coming back. So there are two kinds of capital. Entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person or a group of few persons, those who are bearing the risk of profit and loss. They're investing the money and they are taking the decisions how the factory will be running, what are the general rules will be followed, and then they are the risk bearers. Okay, they are the owners, you can say. Next we are having price. The price of a commodity is the unit or amount of money that has to be given to get this commodity. For example, you are going to the market or you are going to a shop and trying to buy a pen. What you will do? You have to pay the price. You have to pay the money, the value. You have to pay the value of it. You have to pay the money of it, and then you will get the pen. Right. So this is called as the price of the commodity is the unit or amount of money that has to be given to get this commodity. You can say this as absolute price or money price. Okay. Next you will find in your book they are saying about the equilibrium. What is the equilibrium of a price? First of all, prices are determined through market forces of demand and supply. If there is a high demand of that commodity in the market, then the price will also be high, because the demand is high and it is derived from the supply also. If the demand is there and that much amount of supply is also there in the market, where the demand and the supply is meeting at a given point of the price is already fixed. Okay, and the amount of demanded is already supplied. That meeting point where the price, the demand and the supply is meeting, that intersecting point is called the equilibrium. Equilibrium price is the price at which quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. So quantity demanded, the consumers what they are demanding, and the amount which is being supplied is meeting at a certain point. At that point the price is getting derived. Okay, that is called equilibrium price. Next we are having general price level. General price level refers to the average level of price of all goods and services produced in the economy. It is usually just called price level. General price level means price level only. The general price level may increase or decrease during a particular time period. When there is a large increase in the general price level, it is known as inflation, and when there is a decrease in the general price level is called deflation. What is inflation? Inflation is generally defined as the process of persistence and appreciable rise in the general price level. Inflation refers to the process of rising prices and not a state of high prices. Okay, a little bit confused you might be at this point. What is inflation? Just a minute. Yes, you can come to page number 34. What is inflation? Here also is written. Inflation is the process of persistence, means continuous, and appreciable rise in the general price level. It is increase in the price level. Okay, so there are two factors again over here. One is the demand pull and the other is the cost push. What is the meaning of these two terms? Inflation originated from the demand forces is called demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation occurs when the demand for goods and services exceeds the supply. When the demand for the goods and services exceeds the supply, okay, able at that existing price. The price we are considering here as fixed. Okay, at that given price, the demand of that commodity is increasing much more, whereas the supply is not as such. That time we are having demand pull inflation. Okay, when there is excess demand for goods and services. Okay, next we are having cost push inflation. Cost push inflation refers to inflationary rise in price. Here the price is rising. Rise in price which arises due to increase in cost. As the cost increases, the price is increasing. Let us understand a little bit more. Cost push inflation may be caused by increase in wage cost or increase in profit margin. For instance, if money wage increases, cost per unit will increase. What will happen at the time? In order to increase the profit, the producers will start increasing the product, price of the product. They will start selling it at a high cost.